What is up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. This is a live call-in show, and tonight there will be no funny intro. We've got some serious things to talk about. This is basically getting close to a very bad situation. So we're going to go over that here in a second. We will be right back. All right. Let's see. All right, thank you guys. Almost 700 folks to join at the start. Thank you guys for waiting and being patient. We were putting a lot of stuff together. If you've never been here before, this is a live call-in show. The number to call in is at 224400-MARF. If you can't remember that, make sure that you know that it's down below, including the translation of Marf on a dial tone phone. So we're going to go into several things today, including crazy weather events such as a tornado in Las Vegas. There are so many things going on at once. Last night I did not do a show because I was trying to catch the unicorn meteor shower, which tended to be a dud where I was at. If you guys had a better experience with it, please let me know via videos, pictures. Send it to me at Twitter at Marfoogle or on Instagram at Marfoogle. With that being said, we need to do a mic check real quick. We have a Dex here. Dex helps produce the show and screens the call, has a live connection with me. He can actually upload documents, videos that any caller might want to show the rest of the viewers. Average viewers anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000. So it gets pretty crazy in here. Dex, are you there now?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle Fam.
Okay, so just to get the sound check down, it looks like you are good. Dex, as far as I'm going to try to call you in a couple times here because of all of the stuff that we've been receiving, not only from our normal viewers, but from our military groups. There's lots of craziness going on right now. Do you have kind of anything to say about this kind of current cycle that we are in right now?
Well, it's the end of the week, and, at the end of the week and going into the weekend, the news cycle is always a little lighter, or it's full of bad news. Nobody wants to put out good news on a Friday. It's always on a Monday. But the one thing that caught my eye over the last couple of days, Adam, is the fact that the things that are going on with China, and we've mentioned them before. We talked about them earlier in the previous shows and a couple of different things that have happened there. But everything from trade to Hong Kong to the South China Sea to weapons testing to all sorts of things that are going on. It just seems like there's a lot happening in that particular space right now. And the alignments for friendliness between two major nations don't really look like they're there. They really look like we're basically irritating each other every chance we get.
And not only that, there are all of these different events going on all at once around the country and all around the world. Now, Dex, we're going to talk about the tornado here in a second. There's other stories that kind of stuck out to us, including we're going to be doing a lot of changes, and we are going to be calling out to creators, especially small creators, to team up for some of the YouTube changes that are about to happen. Do you have like maybe one or two things you can say? I'm going to make sure that we have no notifications, so I'm going to go over to Twitter and make sure that everybody gets that notification over there. Do you have anything to say about the commercially viable thing that's kind of come up now?
Yeah, I think everybody has, especially for the creators, it's really important for us to understand what's happening with the terms of service. And, I have said for a long time that the changes they're making don't really affect their powers that they have. So in other words, it's not like tomorrow they're just going to be able to, or December 10th, they're going to be able to just start turning people off. They could do that today. I think what we're seeing more is the result of what's happened with the FTC and the COPPA laws, Children Online Privacy Protection Act, where the platform is positioning itself in a way to get its liability out of the way. and pass that liability on to the creators. So I think the biggest change that we're going to see is what happens in the beginning of the year when the FTC starts to look at the creators instead of just the platform as it relates to how they enforce their rules and regulations around content. So I think that's probably the biggest thing, and it's a big unknown what's really going to happen. But it's clear that the platform itself is positioning itself in a way that it's going to basically pass the buck on to the creator, and it's going to fall upon us, all of us, to then sort of bear the burden of what may come down from the FTC.
There's some good parts about this because they so badly do not want the responsibility of what everybody is posting. They, to me, it would seem like they would further want to be a platform and not a publisher. If you guys don't know the distinction between, if you are a publisher, you are directly responsible for what you put, what we put on their system here. But then the bad part of that would be that they could control what we put on. So they would be able to take us down if they only wanted to have, left-leaning or right-leaning subjects on the platform. They could do that if they declared themselves a publisher. But they would also be responsible for what was posted, and it wouldn't be, what we know as this platform today. Now, as a platform, they kind of wash their hands of responsibility, but with this new COPPA stuff, it's completely different. If you don't think this is going to affect you, even if you're not a creator, it is, and it's going to affect the entire platform. Like Dex said, it can happen right now. In fact, some of my friends are gone now. Rest in peace, YouTube channels at least, and that's because of the changes that are going on. So it's already kicked in. We've already seen it. Markiplier, 25 million subscribers, had hundreds of his subscribers actually not only suspended and had their accounts suspended from YouTube, but they also had their accounts suspended all of Google. So that means that new change in the terms of service has already kicked in, which means, you don't just lose your YouTube, you use your whole account, your Gmail, everything. Mind you, we want to be as positive about this as possible, and this isn't the serious stuff. I mean, honestly, this is a distraction. The biggest events are going to happen close to when we put our ballots in. There are huge things in the making right now, and from the people that I've talked to and from their level in the workings of things, I absolutely know, like, now it's time to get serious about some of these things, especially about meeting up in our state groups, preparing for any kind of disaster that may happen. That's why I said, like, I just want to drill it home. Like, we are here for a purpose. We do have fun, and there's a reason behind that. We want to, we want to be commercially viable. I saw this coming a year and a half ago. Before anybody else did, we kind of knew this was coming. So people gave us a lot of crap along the way about us being more commercial, but we kind of saw the end game here. We have over 11,000 people organizing and getting in Discord. I wouldn't say, whatever percentage of those 11,000 people physically meet in person. It's actually more than I've seen any other channel do as far as meetings in all 50 states. If there isn't a meeting in your state, start one. I mean, we've got multiple groups in California, Washington, all 50 states, really. There's a couple states that I know of that people wanted groups, but nobody's really wanting to start one. We're talking about people physically meeting in person and talking prep, talking all that kind of stuff. That's all happening from this goofy channel that talks about everything. Again, we talk about anything and everything here. So without further ado, let's get into the news. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on, of course. The world is, turned upside down. This really is and truly is one of the craziest times in history ever. Just with environmental problems, with governmental problems, just everything. Now, here, this is something that's been overlooked by a couple of the mainstream spots that I've seen. It says, furious China shadows 2 U.S. warships sailing through disputed waters, warns them to leave. Now, we've seen over the last couple weeks, especially, multiple U.S. ships going through places that are kind of contested or a big issue, including Ryan, which I say differently on purpose. And it says China is again furious after the U.S. sailed several warships through the heavily disputed waters in the South China Sea. Now, military sources told Reuters, it says the move by the U.S. has escalated tensions between both countries, already tense as the latest round of trade talks have fallen apart, and the signing of the Phase 1 trade deal has likely been delayed. Now, this shows kind of a map of the disputed claims in the South China Sea. Of course, it shows you here the Vietnamese claim, Parcel Islands, the Philippines claim, the Malaysian claim, which includes the Spratly Islands, which they have now not only kind of claimed for themselves, but they have also physically made a midway point base. They've made FOBs, or forward operating bases, in and on the Spratly Islands. And when there wasn't an island, they actually built one. They physically took dirt from the bottom of the ocean and sucked it up and created an island where there wasn't one. In fact, they've created multiple. What did they put on this island? Very important. They have actually put, anti-air, missiles. You've got weapons, tanks, planes, runways, everything to basically be a nice and cozy FOB. Now, with everything that's going on over here, of course, you've got all of these different places saying that, this is supposed to be open international waters. They have basically said, no, they are not. And that's why it shows the yellow when these U.S. ships or anyone else sails through it. What we first saw when this first happened, even 60 Minutes, or it was either 60 Minutes or Hardline, or one of those shows on ABC, they show them flying over in a mini plane, and then you've got the Chinese saying, turn around or you will be, shot down, basically. They're like, this is Chinese waters, you're above this. And they're basically telling them, like, you get out of here or we'll take you down. Now that was the kind of the start of it, and there was a lot of mystery shrouded around what they were doing with these islands. And of course, as I predicted, and many others in my niche, is that it was for military purposes. Now, they said it might be for oil or this or that. They have enough military gear there, including invading ships, like the drop ship type things. What do they call those, Dex? Do you know what I'm talking about? The ships that, like what we have. There's a common name for them where the front drops down. We had them in D-Day.
Oh yeah, the
landing craft.
Yeah, the landing craft. They're assault landing craft. Landing craft.
There were pictures that came out, and we were actually sent some of them that were put out on Reddit, and it was clearly the Spratly Islands. They even had one picture of the Philippines boat kind of being, right outside in the coast, and they pointed out that there was 3 Chinese warships surrounding it. And it was kind of a crazy photo because I think it was something that was documented by them, and it was taken from their land on Spratly Island. Then there was others that show that there's all these landing craft. They have now placed anti-air stuff there. They have placed planes. They've placed ships all around in that place. So this, anybody who would look at this would say, this could be and potentially might be a preparation area and kind of a step towards what could potentially turn into a dispute at some point. See, people think that we have all these businesses going with, China and Russia and that nothing is ever going to happen. My personal opinion, and you can, of course, debate me, call in and share your side, is that, it could be the next president or, 2 presidents down the line, or even this president, that things change rapidly. One incident can cause a back and forth between any country. Now, some might say there are puppeteers above all of them and they're all in on it. That very well might be. But who's going to be the victim of the games that they play? That's the thing. There are actual things that go down way beyond our spectrum of even thinking. There are things that have happened that have been declassified now that would have been outside of the spectrum of common sense. So there's a lot of big stuff going on. With this whole thing, It is a much bigger deal. We've gotten plenty of information that they are not only, got their islands, they're making them bigger, they're making more islands, and they are fortifying the crap out of them. And no word of any kind of oil drills yet, so we'll see. They said, some claim that they might just be there for harmless reasons. They're going to protect it, they're going to try to claim it. And of course, since they've built land on it, that gives them a better claim. What is the rule, Dex? Isn't it like within 200 miles of the shore of your country, you own that water or something? The country owns the water? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it's actually 100 miles is international waters. I believe it's 100. It could be. I have to look it up.
Whatever it may be, basically them putting it there, they could actually make a viable claim to it instead of, say Malaysia or Brunei or any of those other places. Again, it says the USS Gabriel Giffords, an Independence-class littoral combat ship, on Wednesday sailed through and within 12 nautical miles of Mischief Reef, a militarized island in the South China Sea operated by China. Then on Thursday, USS Wayne E. Meyer, R. Lee Burt-class guided missile destroyer, sailed through the Parcel Islands in the South China Sea. It says, quote, "These missions are based in the rule of law and demonstrate our commitment to upholding the rights, freedoms, and lawful uses of the sea and airspace guaranteed to all nations." That was, of course, Commander Rian Mumson, spokesman to the U.S. Navy's 7th Fleet. It says China's people, or I should just say the PLA, shadowed the two U.S. warships as they both transited through disputed waters and, quote, warned them to leave. China has warned the U.S. to stop sending warships near its militarized islands and to, quote, avoid the happening of any mishap. We've also seen people taken hostage there as far as smaller countries, smaller navies go through and they take the actual boats captive and then later release them. There hasn't been any serious things yet. There was a couple serious close mishaps. But again, there's something going on with this and people aren't going to believe it. I mean, there's so many things going on distraction-wise to put people off. Now, it says extremely contagious virus outbreak shutters U.S. school district, infects hundreds. According to Time magazine, the virus has already affected about 1,000 staff and students. It says the Mesa County Public Health Department has confirmed that it is monitoring the virus outbreak, although the illnesses are suspected to be a result of a norovirus outbreak. That diagnosis has not yet been confirmed through lab testing. It says, quote, "We are hearing reports that a person might just feel fine and in less than an hour's time, they have a vomiting episode, sometimes in public places," the agency said in a statement obtained by Time, and also said, "That's causing the future spread of illness and making it more concerning than a typical gastrointestinal virus, much like norovirus." It says district officials have also said that they appear to have multiple strains of the virus that are affecting students. Quote, "We are taking this highly unusual action because this virus is extremely contagious and spreading quickly through and across our schools." It says, according to Emily Shockley, a spokesman for the district, this is the first time the district has shut down all of its schools at the same time. All of its schools. What's actually going on here? That's up to you guys. It says, quote, "The decision is to close is the right move," Jeff Kerr says, the executive director of Mesa County Public Health Department, said in a statement Wednesday. It says, "Past experiences with these type of viruses tell us having a period of time away from close person-to-person contact can be instrumental in these illnesses running their course." So they essentially said, we're going to close it down and make sure that, people just stay away from each other. Who knows, how long or what this thing is, how long it's going to last. This is quite weird. What do you think of this, Dex? I don't know if you're...
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot of schools to, that's a lot of, area to close off at one time. But something like that on so quickly. That's pretty, almost think that's what I had the other day when I got sick. But
well, I wonder, how many dozens of schools is that? Is that hundreds of schools? I mean, that's a pretty big district. I wonder if it's, all age groups or if it's just certain ones. It sounds like the entire school district has closed its doors because of a highly contagious virus. Very strange. Let's see here. Linda Kaz, man has now become a god. End days are here. The Messiah is coming, says Linda Kaz. Thank you for supporting the channel. There's a lot of people saying the same exact thing, Lindy. Robert Morgan also popped up there. Thank you for your support. Says we're just one misunderstanding away from conflict with more than just China. I'll debate you on that. I don't think we have a debate there. Robert Morgan, I agree. Dali Zombie, and actually you could say here too. Dali Zombie, welcome to the fam. As always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. And of course, Kisa Care, appreciate all of you, Adam Dex, and all mods and Marfoogles. Chris Vaught, CR Hayes, thank you guys for supporting Taylor V. Thank you always for encouraging unity in the diverse group. Marfoogle Fam is a unique group of people. So glad to be a part of it. Dakota Dad, thank you. Let's see here. Man, you guys are, seriously, we are going to have so much craziness happen in the next, I would say 3 months. We are literally heading into the next vote. This is going to be absolutely insane. Imagine kind of, and I don't want you to relive any nightmares, but remember in 2008 when a certain gentleman got elected, remember, there's no argument. There was a lot of people that were so happy out in the streets. In fact, I was part of it, not even knowing what, I was working downtown Seattle, and I kind of walked up with about 5 or 6 people, one with a megaphone. People were happy, including myself. I back then I guess I didn't know what was really, I didn't know what was going on with him. Didn't know. I was just happy, right? We walking up 5 or 6 of us, and then all of a sudden people just started pouring out of the doorways. It was there's nothing like it that I think I'll ever be a part of ever. We were on national news because 5 turned into 500, then 10,000, then 30,000. People were coming out of the buildings, like the entire buildings were emptying out onto the main Pike Street, and we walked all the way up, and it turned into this just crazy party. I'm not kidding you. People were popping champagne bottles. People were passing beers, throwing beers around. People were being lifted up on shoulders. People were on bus stops. People were hanging from poles. It was nuts. So imagine that positivity, right? And I'm not saying that was a great thing. Now knowing everything that happened, I'm like, I'm almost ashamed. I am kind of ashamed to be there. Then, imagine that, only the negative, only the total opposite of that kind of show of force out in the streets. That's what some feel is going to happen at the next decision. Very, very crazy times that we are living in right now. Dakota Dad, yesterday's history, tomorrow's mystery. Today is a gift. That's why it is called the present. That's a great point. Love the Foogle family and hard work of Dex, Adam, and mods. Andy Littleman says, happy Friday. Able-bodied, God bless all the Foogle family. Jason Skates, hello, everyone. Give our kids a fighting chance. Thank you. I appreciate you guys supporting, all of you guys. Thank you. We are heading towards something awesome, so I appreciate your support. Neil Nelson, glad to see you. Adam Dex, all mods. Lil Red KS, happy birthday, April Osborne. Happy birthday as well, April. That's awesome. Jocelyn KW, thank you for all you do. Lionheart, hi, Foogle Fam. Love you, Adam, December, and family. Melinda Mowich, thank you for everything you do. Adam, Dex, and mods. April Osborne, today's my birthday. Love you, Marf. And hashtag 51736 Hellfire says Black Triangle spotted 11/18/19 at 10:59, spotted over northeastern Colorado. Any other reports? So that Hellfire is asking if anybody else saw a black triangle in northeastern Colorado. Okay, so now speaking of which, we're going to get to a story just about that as far as NASA catching something incredible. We're going to show you pictures of that a lot of people are very confused on what it might be. I was confused myself. I almost reached out to a fellow YouTuber you guys might know, Blake. It says, video, China tests Mars landers, triangulates NASA probe's location amid deep space mission prep. Again, all of these countries are trying to go to space. They're trying to go to the moon and Mars. They are all trying to do anti-asteroid missions, all these kind of weird things. On November 14, the China National Space Administration, or the CNSA, carried out tests on its Mars lander using a 460-foot tall tower that recreates the weaker gravity the lander will have to navigate as it descends to Mars. Again, China is going there. I mean, like, what is the deal? Why is everybody having deadlines? It's not, I don't think this is another race for, who can be the first. That's just stupid. There's something going on. And, of course, we now have a Space Force, which is probably a filtered thing. So we'll just call it the SF. The tower located in Hebei province uses 36 cables to suspend a platform between 4 pylons beneath the lander, hangs to simulate the Martian gravity, which is 3/8 as strong as Earth's. Below the platform's creators to simulate the Martian surface. Now, what do you think of this, Dex? As far as China going to Mars as well, doing all these other things, do you consider this something?
Well, yeah, certainly. It's superpower, and they're trying to get their dominance in both the moon and Mars. And this video is really interesting, watching them fly their lander. And obviously it's tethered, but they're doing it to offset some of the gravitational forces. But yeah, I mean, they've got plans. I think they're launching next year and plan to put this lander on Mars a year later and actually have a rover. So,
do you think they actually put made in China on their CNSA stuff? Like just a little tiny black tag, and then above
I'm sure they did.
And then above it says Dollar Tree.
Places.
Yeah. This is just more. I mean, there's so many things that are connecting in all of this. It's just the weirdest stuff. Chinese governments may have falsified organ donation numbers, study says. Now, we actually covered some stuff not too long ago about how, one, they have the camps or whatever for certain religious groups, and then they have their social credit score, which some are saying that they have actually had kind of a reward for the lowest social credit scores. And some believe that might be that you donate some organs voluntarily. It sounds really crazy, but there seems to be a gentleman who is actually doing a documentary right now that actually might have some proof of that. I'm not going to say that that's true yet because we don't have any solid proof, but again, feel free to put your opinion about that in the chat or in the comments below. It says, a study led by an Australian National University researcher says Chinese organ donation data shows highly compelling evidence they are being falsified. The Chinese government may have systematically falsifying its organ donation numbers, raising renewed concerns over the use of executed prisoners and other forced donors for transplants. A new academic paper says, well, wouldn't you know it? Forced donors. So not checking a little box, checking your window for the Chinese government. It says in 2015, China publicly promised it would no longer source organs from executed prisoners. So yeah, that happened. So you get the death penalty. They're like, oh, you're healthy. Including, I heard that there was even a face transplant. Could you imagine walking around with somebody else's face that was executed? That is just messed up. And forcefully took his face. That should be a ghost movie right there. It says, China publicly promised it would no longer source organs from executed prisoners, previously almost its sole source. That's right. And Now, let me ask you this. If there was money to be made in, say, organ donation, extremely valuable things, do you think that they might give an execution sentence to somebody who may or may not have been innocent? Or say the judges, the whole system might have been leaning towards like, well, let's just get him the guilty and get him that execution. I don't even like saying that word on here. It says, but a study led by Australian National University PhD student Matthew Robertson, published in the BMC Medical Ethics Journal on Friday, says that Chinese government supplied data sets on organ donations show, quote, highly compelling evidence that they are being falsified. Using statistical forensics on the data sets, researchers found the numbers of organs reportedly transplanted almost perfectly matched a mathematical formula, a quadratic function. Did you see this part, Dex? It literally,
yes.
Like somebody took the quadratic function and was like, yeah, these are our numbers. This is like,
yeah, we gotta come up with the numbers. So let's use a formula on what the numbers should be. Then we'll plug that in, and never mind, let's go in and actually fudge the numbers a little bit so that we can get some, a little bit of error in there so that it actually looks normal. Instead, we're going to have a perfect function. That's kind of crazy.
Do you guys see what they're saying? And, we've heard, many rumors that the Chinese people are very good at math. It's almost been called a stereotype. So good that they used a quadratic function to fudge their gross forced donor program numbers. It says, when you take a close look at the numbers of organs apparently collected, they almost match this artificial equation point for point, year in, year out. They're too neat to be true. Wow. And somebody says, these figures don't appear to be real data from real donations. They're numbers generated using an equation. It is difficult to imagine how this model could have arrived at mere chance, raising the distinct possibility that it was intended to deceive. Well, no duh. All right, so before it gets any later, Dex, now you wanted to say something about NordVPN as far as you have some background on this as far as being from high up in tech. Now, NordVPN is actually doing a special savings for our people of up to 84%. What it is a virtual private network, so you can essentially protect yourself from a lot of the bad on the internet, which I did not do when I first started this. Dex, what do you have to say about the VPN situation?
Yeah, I mean, the two biggest things that I want to stress to people the most is that, one, hiding your IP address is really important, especially in the space that we're in, the people we talk to, and especially the fact that you have online communication, online relationships. All it takes is someone to give you a link, and you think it's an okay link that goes to a destination, and you click on it, and then maybe it does take you to a YouTube video. Maybe you actually land somewhere and you don't think anything was wrong. But what you missed was in the middle of that link, there was some way for them to capture your IP address. The bad guys turn around and take that and come after your network. They come after your home. They come after your computer. Okay? Don't let that happen. By using a VPN, you can actually move your connection point out somewhere onto a VPN server, and they can't attack your personal home network. Okay? The other thing about a VPN that's really important to think about is when you're on a Wi-Fi network, maybe your home is secure. Maybe nobody else is using your home network, or maybe somebody has cracked your home network because maybe you live in a dense population, or if you're at Starbucks. If you're sitting at a Starbucks and you're using the Wi-Fi, literally the creepy guy in the corner can be looking at all of the information that you're surfing on the internet. And if you're using a VPN, you can basically lock that out and it won't happen. Literally, the guy could literally be listening to every conversation you're having, but with a VPN, no. So those are just a couple of the key use cases that I think are really important about this. I talked a lot about it on my channel, but protecting not only your home base, your IP, that is whether it's your phone or your home network, so that people can't find it and attack it, or protecting the information you're actually surfing when you're on a network where other people could listen to it. That's really important from a VPN's point of view.
Now, part of the reason for all of this is that we have a community that emails us and sends us message, especially Dex. gets dinged probably 20 times a day by some of the folks in our group that don't necessarily know much about computers, and they are saying that they're having weird issues. They think they've been hacked. They think they've been this. This is a good way to protect yourself and support the channel. The thing is, I almost have an opinion that every single person on the planet should have one of these, but it would be kind of weird at that point. Everybody would be somewhere else. You can also get past some of the weird things that are going on as far as what happens in this country but doesn't happen in this country. You can actually place yourself in a different country, I guess. So again, marfooglenews.com/VPN. It helps support us, and you guys get an awesome discount as well. All right, so now back to NASA. Cameras capture sound waves from mystery spacecraft hurtling towards Earth. Now, this is super, super weird. Now, last week we did that video on the sound of solar waves or solar flares hitting the Earth, and it was this weird Halloween sound. It was like super, super odd, and to me, it almost sounded like what we hear with this huge horns or the mystery horns in the sky. It says NASA cameras on the International Space Station have captured sound waves traveling across Earth from a new form of space technology, conspiracy theorists have claimed. It says the collection of baffling photos appears to show something cutting through the clouds and send miles upon miles of, quote, ripples trailing off behind it. Now, this talks about Blake and his comments on it. Now, take a look at these pictures first. And I want you to not be... First, Dex, I actually thought this was snow. This is incredibly, incredibly weird.
Right.
These are clouds.
These are clouds, and this is just north of Antarctica in the South Atlantic. And these were taken, I think, a day or two ago from one of the cameras on the ISS. And there's about 60 pictures in all, and you can go look at the actual pictures in the catalog that they have. I've got here the first picture and the last picture, which was about an 8-minute period in between the two. But you can see those ripples that are just ripping through the clouds. It almost, in my opinion, it looks like the wake on the back of a boat. A boat going through the ocean would leave those waves behind it, right? It's like, what's flying through those clouds right now that's so big that it's making that big of a trail? That's huge.
Well, what's his face said that in northeastern Colorado they just saw a big black triangle. I don't know what this is, but I do know that it is strange enough and big enough. I don't think people understand the scale if this picture was real. The thing is they didn't, this is something that they quietly kind of held. People had to look and search, and they pulled this out of there. It's not like this was published by, NASA and they said, hey, look at this. It was, found and pulled out and picked out of thousands and thousands and thousands of photos. Again, if you guys actually do look, you can get thousands of current photos. They show the ISS feed or whatever else. And even for those that argue that there is no space and everything else, either way, the ISS is above us in the globe or whatever however your model works. There is definitely an ISS flying up there above. Whether it's in a I guess Christmas ball or whether it's on a globe, it's up there taking photos, and this thing was flying through the clouds. So
and Adam, I mean, I went down the list with you. Like, it could have been a spacecraft, it could be an alien craft, it could be coming from, it could be sound waves, it could be the remnants of some sort of giant meteor going through the clouds. I don't know. I mean, there's like, you could come up with a bunch of potential scenarios here. Harp waves, I guess. I don't know. But this is amazing. We've never seen anything like it, and it's a monstrosity, and it's not, it doesn't seem natural. It seems like something has pierced through those clouds and caused that.
So they also say size-wise that this would have to be something like 30 miles wide or something like that, because this is from space as far as the distance and where it's at. So that's what I heard. As far as, I've never seen a 30-mile wide spaceship, But, maybe a larger asteroid that maybe possibly could have hit could have done that. And then I wonder about this. This is incredibly weird. What do you guys think about it? Give us a call at 224-400-MARF. I'd love to hear your opinions on this. I understand, some of you may go with the same thing as Blake Cousins from over there at Third Phase of Moon, that it's a UFO. I don't know, but I do know it's very, very strange. Now it says, in Ryan, rage is escalating. Now, if you're new to the show, I do say some words, including the I words, a little bit differently. That is because of all of the changes coming. It says, rage is escalating as economic stresses reach new level. This actually shows a bus set on fire. It's all kind of havoc over there. And look at this. All black, protesters. Now, Dex, you heard something about this, correct?
Well, I guess part of it is like, we've got these sanctions and they're significantly impacting, and now we're seeing, I guess, some of the results of that, where you've got the, protesters in the country itself in Ryan are starting to do their own protesting against, what's happening. So, a lot of tension is between both, Ryan and Rael and ourselves, as well as even our other allies in the Middle East. But there's also this internal tension now. So everything's sort of just like anyone has said, at any moment things could just be set off. It's rather interesting to see this going on, and I'm it's also kind of curious to think who is behind it, how they are supporting or helping it, and do we play a role in that or not? I don't know. Many will speculate.
So we're gonna move quicker. We're gonna go more in depth on some of these things in the coming weeks. So if you would like to read the rest of this article, just to remind you now that everybody's here, it looks like about 2,700 people. MarfoogleNews.com is super easy to type in. MarfoogleNews.com, and you will see that this thumbnail will actually bring you to this video, and you can come a month later and click on this or any of our other shows, and down below we actually link every article that we have used, including tweets. Here's the thing, when you go here and you click on this, you are essentially getting the source of where we got it from. We're not taking it out of context. We are actually showing you where we're getting this information, and then we are debating about it. So again, people that say that this is this and this is that, I don't see many other people that put the work in that we do to make sure that this is all legit stuff. Even if it's not legit, we'll show you the source of where it comes from. So if it's a scare article, it's right there. If it's a tabloid article, it's right there. If it's a tweet, it's right there. If it's a theory, it's right there. And we're completely transparent about where we get our information and allow you to get it too. A lot of this is real stuff going on or mainstream stuff that might be swayed, and that's why it's so important that we show you so we can debate about it and get to what the bottom of what's really going on. Again, on this website up at the top, you will actually see that there is Marfoogle News, TV, schedule, join Facebook, join Discord and alerts, contact. And again, you can do all of it from this central hub. We are also building some stuff with smaller creators as well coming up. I'll talk about that here in a minute after the news. And we're going to get to the calls. Make sure you get in quick, 224-400-MARF if you have any kind of subject that you want to talk about. If you have any information on any of the things we're talking about, make sure to pop in right now. Okay, now... Also, we didn't put it on here. I do want to mention there was some Twitters suspended recently, Breaking News Live, for reporting about the whole thing with Riz Ray L. Make sure to go check out Edge of Wonder's Twitter for that information, or Mr. Voorhees. You can easily do that by just going to my tweets. You can see I retweeted that. There's a lot of things going on that we need to organize on. So, Chile's police suspend use of pellets after 270 eye injuries. That is pretty incredible. There's more pirates in this country than any other, apparently. And that's not a joke. A bunch of one-eyed folks because of the police pellets. It says a study by the University of Chile found out that the pellets used are composed of only 20% rubber, while the other 80% have different elements, such as lead. Holy crowley. It says the director of the Carabineros, Chile's military police, Mario Rosas, announced Tuesday the suspension of the use of pellets as an anti-riot tool, except in cases of legitimate defense when it represents a death. I don't even want to say those words together. It says the measure follows a study by the University of Chile that states that these pellets are composed only 20% rubber, while the other 80% have different elements such as lead. Rosas said that the measure will be maintained while the pellets are subjected to other tests requested from laboratories abroad. The restriction will be evaluated when we have in our possession the results of the studies. It's like they know what the hell is in the bullets, in the pellets. They make the damn things. They have somebody make it, and they made it like that to say, oh, they're rubberized. So basically, I think they put rubber on the outside of it, but it's essentially a big-ass BB with rubber on the outside. That's basically what it is, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing to think about, Adam, and that when I looked at this, I was like, okay, it's interesting that they're dissecting the weapon that's being used and what's the problem with it. But go back to the stat. This has only been going on since October. It's only been the uprising. How bad has it been there that when they're firing rubber bullets into a crowd, that they've actually hit 270 eyes? How many people have they hit? Okay, that's a lot of firing, right?
Do you go?
Think about
just the sheer odds of hitting them in the eye,
body to hit, right, and just hitting in the eye. So that is 270 people. The number has to be huge.
I'm actually like seriously wondering, like, do we even have that many in 5 years in the U.S. as far as eye injuries from using anti-protest pellets? I wonder what the stat is on that. 270 eyes, the odds, that means they're aiming for the head the whole time, every time. Maybe. I don't know. I would assume they would, right? You would. No,
I don't think they would. You think they wouldn't, right? You think it's crowd control. It's push the crowd back. It's not,
well,
knock them down to the ground, because you got to pick them up, right?
Well, it's chilly. We don't know what they're. I do know from YouTube, like, van lifers that I've stupidly, had been hooked on for a couple months, watching these couples stay in Chile. They were robbed, and then the police essentially helped the robbers and had the robber in the actual lobby of the police station, and they're like, oh, that's what's his face's brother. He would never do that. And they're like, we have him on tape doing it. So they have kind of a corrupt thing. And then some police stations even close. If they feel like it, they'll just close, and then you have to go to the next city to report a theft or anything. So, I mean, they've got a lot of stuff going on there that's just really, really messed up. Obviously, that study brought this to light, but that's still astronomical. 270 eyes.
Yeah, and I think even in the study, it said that was a record number, that nobody had ever been that. That's insane. So anyway, that's why I put that. That's why when I found that out.
Tim Butler said in the chat, you'd think you would think they would absolutely they aim to cause harm. Well, that's the thing. If you're talking about unless they're wearing like full, gear or what do you call it? Safety gear, like pads and all that. If you're just trying to disperse somebody, shoot them in the body, especially if they're using rubber pellets, right? I mean, it's not like, let's go for their eyes, but these guys are like no joke. They're going for everywhere. And the fact that there's 270 eyes being hit just by sheer like luck or by numbers, that means there's a lot of protesting, a lot of use of these things. That's insane. So that's pretty nuts. A lot of one-eyed protesters there. Now, this is absolutely nuts. We have talked about this since it came out, since the talk of the hypersonic missiles, everything else. Now, we covered the story a couple weeks ago. Dex, I don't know if you remember this. It says, Putin says dead men died trying to create weapon with no equal. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it was this radiation spike that was detected in Russia. Not to be confused with yesterday's undersea thing. People are debating about that now, not trying to get in the middle of that. This one was guaranteed 100%. We found out that this, I guess, wasn't an ignition source, or they were trying to do some sort of, what do you call it?
Yeah, I think it was propulsion. Of a rocket,
That's
right?
the word I was looking for. Now it says here, I'm going to read this and then it says, President Putin says 5 men killed in a huge explosion in northern Russia that caused sudden radiation spike died trying to create a weapon that has no equal in the world. That is a creepy statement, whether you believe him or not. It says, Russian President Vladimir Putin has told widows of the 5 scientists who died in a nuclear explosion earlier this year that their husbands were working on the most advanced and unmatched technical weaponry. Putin's comments came during a ceremony of state decorations at the Kremlin today, where he awarded the deceased employees of Russia's state nuclear company with the Order of Courage posthumously. It says they led a very difficult, responsible, and critical direction. We are talking about the most advanced and unmatched technical ideas and solutions. You know, I've said many times on the show, Dex, that we have kind of underestimated all these other countries, and we just automatically assume, I think it's something in our culture that assumes that we have the best scientists, we have the best technology, we have the best everything. You know, anybody can have the best scientists. We have taken the smartest scientists. We've taken the Werner von Braun's from other people. There are smart people all over the world. There are geniuses in Russia. There are geniuses in China. There are geniuses in Ryan or Ryak. There's geniuses all over the place. If they have
the information age, absolutely. You can live almost anywhere on this planet and get access to enough information if you have the brain capacity to learn and process it, that you could become, a great scientist or a great design person, right? Like, there is no more, the limits of that are no longer held into the great colleges and the great, institutions that we once had. That information is now everywhere.
Because it used to be held back that way. There wasn't, the United States had this access to things that other countries didn't, and it did actually physically hold other countries down. Now with the internet, with the information age, there's just so much more opportunity for other countries, even in third world countries, to access information. You'd be amazed at what people go through to get to the internet in third world countries, even for dial-up. They absolutely, it's a dream come true to get what we would dread or complain about. They said, God has blessed me. I have access to the internet. We are so incredibly just, we take everything for granted. We are just incredibly, in some cases ungrateful for what we all have, what we have in our pockets, what we have that's just disposable. I mean, we literally dispose of phones that would be, the ultimate gift for a person's entire life in some places in the world. So I'm not trying to give you the speech like, eat your peas. Somebody in Africa would die. They would starve to death. I'm not trying to do that. I am trying to say, though, we are literally so well off. Even if you are the poorest person in America, you are, the richest somewhere else. So with this, I just have to put out the point. Do we always have to say that, they're just making stuff up, they're just bluffing, they're just pounding their chest, they're just saber rattling, they don't really have that. I see a lot of underestimation of other countries. we're in an age now where everybody is using advanced stuff. Everybody is, we're coming into the age of quantum computers, which they have. There is nothing restricting them from having quantum computers. Whereas back then, there were certain things that they couldn't access to, say, certain countries couldn't have access to make nuclear explosions and things like this, nuclear devices. Now, there is so much more availability for these things because new solutions are either being brought up by incredibly smart people or by quantum computing solutions. I don't think people realize these quantum computers can actually have kind of a Q&A with themselves and come up with an actual solution. Like many of the crazy dystopian future movies that we've seen where the computer, go, how do we fix population problems? And the computer comes up with an answer. That actually can be done now with quantum computing. Not only that, the days of encryption are going to be gone. There's going to be no secrets between any countries. What happens then? Do we turn into a one world? Most likely. I don't know. It's very nuts. Is there going to be an advantage when everybody has all the same stuff? Or are they going to physically try to snuff some people out? Don't know. It's pretty creepy. Again, the 5 people died in an explosion that actually set off radiation detection, hundreds of miles away. It says on August 8th, 5 employees of the Russia's nuclear company, Rosatom, were blown up while testing a nuclear rocket propulsion system. The rescue team is pictured after the tragedy. So that was, this was it. I like how this guy's just like, hey, Bob, what you doing? Oh, well, nothing, Steve. Why are you wearing the funky suit? Well, Bob, we just had a nuclear explosion. You're incredibly underdressed for the occasion, and you're officially dead. Sorry for coming to work today, Bob. Oh, that's great. Well, I can go back home to my wife and, go pull myself an Epstein. All right. This is some crazy stuff. If they really have something that's unequaled, they've already been saying that for years, but I don't think they're BS in this time. If you have an opinion that it differs from that, you can actually call in at 224-400-MARF. It says 3 U.S. military attaches are detained while traveling, blah, blah, blah. Okay, actually, that was attached to something else. It says Putin said that they made an indispensable contribution to the strengthening of the Russian state. He expressed his condolences to the widowed, but maintained Russia would go on developing this type of advanced weaponry. It says the fact of possessing such unique technologies is today the most important reliable guarantee of peace on the planet. And no matter what, we will certainly improve this weapon. Wow. This is nuts. So this is where it was. They show kind of a map, and we know that this is a really crazy place. Noyonoskska, they got a lot of secret crap going on there. A lot of connections with a lot of the craziest things that has come out of Russia in the last 5-10 years. Experts said that they suspected an explosion and radiation release came from an accident during the testing of a nuclear-powered cruise missile at a facility outside the village of Noyonoskska. It has not been confirmed a Burevestnik cruise missile was being tested during the explosion, but U.S. experts claim the deadly blast was from a Skyfall rocket. Where did that Skyfall word come in? What in the heck? Wasn't that what that caller was talking about the other day?
Yeah, it was the Skyfall theory he was talking about, and it's hard to find online. But I would search, if you're gonna search for it, put it in quotes. Skyfall theory.
Okay, no, that's okay.
Totally different.
We can go over that the other, but I was like, he just called in about the Skyfall theory, and then what you get, you don't actually get the theory, you get the Skyfall James Bond movie references in the first 20 pages. I think after that show, I went and looked it up, and it was on the 26th page of Google, it was on the 4th page of DuckDuckGo, and it was on the 6th or 7th of Yahoo. And I thought, wow, this is crazy enough that all of the places are censoring it. as far as this go, isn't it kind of crazy they named it Skyfall after the whole, that was a Bond name type thing. Pretty nuts. This is actually some funny to pick up your day again. Tesla claimed its pickup truck was bulletproof, then smashed its windows with a metal ball. So I guess what happened here... Now, what the hell is that? That's the actual picture?
I got to watch this video, Adam, when it happened, when it was live, rolling out the vehicle. Yeah, that's the vehicle, and it's a truck. It's a really cool vehicle that he's put out. Starts at like $37,000, and it's a cool looking truck made from the same steel he's using on the rockets. Blah blah blah. It's meant to be like super, bulletproof, destruction proof. They took a sledgehammer to the door, no big deal. And he says, "Oh yeah, we've got this new glass. It's it won't break." And he had the engineer throw a steel ball at it, and it broke the window. And he said, "Well, maybe it was just that window. Let's try the other one." And he broke the second window on stage in front of everybody.
I love the look on his face. Look at this. Oh, in his head he's saying, "Oh, F me."
Well, I mean, yeah,
F my life right now.
He said it out loud.
Maybe.
I think he said it out loud, but he also said, "Well, at least the window didn't break all the way."
He says, "F me." Oh, that is too funny. And he's the kind of guy that would say that. No, you said cool. I'm sorry. I think that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. But now I have 3 kids, and I cart them around in, one of my cars is a 1999 Camry, and I just think of how unsafe it is compared to today's standards. Now, this thing, that's a pickup truck?
Yeah, you can't really see it, but the bed is right there behind the back door. There's 2 doors. Right behind the back door is the bed. It just has a high wall, so it's convenient on the side, but the back flips down, tailgate, big bed. And yeah, and it has 3 engines, or it can have up to 3 engines, and it can pull like 15,000 pounds.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, I get it. And if that was if it is so strong that you crashed at 70, but I wonder what happens if a vehicle doesn't crumple, like the new vehicles that they have now, if they don't crumple. Sorry about that. If they don't crumple, then doesn't your body absorb all of that impact? Like if this thing didn't budge, like it hit the wall, just like if you threw a Hot Wheels right at the wall, right? It's not going to bend or break or crumple or anything. It's just going to be there. Imagine the people inside.
That's what the airbags are for, right?
I guess. This thing looks from the side. I think that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen, but it most definitely is different. This is the future here.
It's kind of crazy. He's going for this, this urban type bug out type vehicle, but it runs on electricity. So,
it's
extremely powerful too.
Well, that's the thing. Powerful. If it's functional, that I think a lot of more people are going towards more functional things, anyways. What it kind of reminded me of is EMP Shield has the Resvani. The Resvani, that's cool. Now, when you say that's a cool looking SUV, that thing's badass. As far as the Tesla, that thing, I don't know. I don't think it will sell too many. Maybe to Back to the Future enthusiasts. No, okay. This is the most obvious evidence that this world is not the same as it was, and that might be a natural thing. Now, it says possible tornado seen roughly 50 miles north of Las Vegas. Now, I don't think it's a possible. At this point, I believe that there was enough witnesses that they say it was a tornado. In fact, here is a tweet, and I'm going to play a video. This is, of course, KSNV News 3. So this is their official news channel there. And if you witnessed this, or if you know anything about this, give us a call at 224-400-MARF. Now, here it is in all of its glory. The reason why people care is because this is incredibly rare. I mean, this just doesn't happen there. As you can see, it starts building Now, Dex, do you hold on? There's something here. Just wanted to make sure there's some sort of sound there. As you can see, it's formed and it has now become what looks like a tornado. Now, Dex, why is this so unique here?
Well, it's kind of like Seattle, right? I mean, come on, tornadoes in the North Desert of Las Vegas,
Which I will show you
I've
in a
never heard of
second.
that.
Can you actually pull up that Seattle tornado that hit, like, what was that, like 5 months ago, 3 months ago? It was probably like 6 months ago. Again, it took roofs off, and we don't have tornadoes, like, at all. Like, ever. Like, never. And, of course, these are happening in different places. There's even places in the Bible where they talk about all of the different things, earthquakes in diverse places, all of these different things that are said in Revelations, and it's just really scary stuff. As far as the changing of our environment, I think that it's safe to say that whatever is changing it's changing. People say, oh, this is a hoax and this is that. I agree with both sides kind of, because I feel like one thing is being used to kind of herd people, and then the other thing is to confuse people. It's definitely changing, but it's possibly a natural change, but it's still going to make things possibly uninhabitable for us. That's just my opinion. If you have an opinion about it, you can give us a call at 224-400-MARF. Now, some of you might be living in states
Seattle tornado.
Oh, thank you.
Screener, if you want to see it.
Some of you may be living in a place where you get tornadoes all the time. So you're like, oh, big deal. It's kind of like when I posted that video freaking out about we had a record lightning strikes. We had, 4 a minute, and we had over 2,500 strikes in 4 hours. It was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Somebody in Florida, in fact, it beat out numbers, and I actually looked that up afterwards. It beat out numbers of some of the lightning capitals in the world. It was actually more than that. So people were like, oh, who cares? It's lightning. As far as like me going, oh, fudge, because the lightning struck outside my house, okay, that was like a little bit like, you're a weenie, that was lightning. But as far as that time, that was unnatural. People said that it was weird that I said it was unnatural. It was most definitely unnatural. It was something that I've never seen, and people are all around me that have lived here. I mean, I talked to multiple people that day, and people were like, this just doesn't happen here. As far as this, I'm going to show you something that is just completely out of place. People are actually adding all of these things up, and they are saying that our world is changing rapidly right in front of us. I mean, talking about like the day after tomorrow, man, this is like stuff happening right in front of our eyes. This was the Seattle tornado that ripped off roofs. This is just nuts. Absolutely incredible. This never happened. Not in my lifetime. In some of the others, they may have had a little whirlwind of leaves and all the leaves are spinning. This actually ripped off roofs. So something is changing. The jet stream is doing all sorts of wacky things. It says rare tornado near Seattle yesterday. Note the debris being sprayed above the tree lines. Several homes were damaged. A piece of this storm combined with a low developing over the Gulf of Mexico will become our super soaker tomorrow night. Then in California, they had almost the first actual hurricane hit landfall, right? Because they've had stuff, but they've never had a hurricane come from California. Wasn't that right, Dex? Ever? He's probably on the phone. Essentially, and somebody could say it was somebody technical thing, but no, they have never had a actual hurricane come from a certain direction, and that almost happened. So, absolutely nuts. If you have an example of weather change, or if you live somewhere and you had something happen that was completely unique and had never happened, we need to compile all of this. And we're trying to put it together. We're trying to show examples because I don't think that all of us notice because we don't live there, right? But if you live in a place and you personally hear like, oh, this is a record, this is the first time it's ever happened here, it doesn't get covered across the world. They don't cover it in mainstream. I want to know about it. Of course, they'll cover it in your local news because they're going to want to talk about whatever they can. They're bored. They're looking for stories, right? I want to combine all this stuff. So please email us or talk to us or call us if you catch that. I want to know and I want to compile it. And I almost want to create a completely new website to log all of this stuff because I think we're going to find out some really bad stuff. All right. With that being said, speaking of pirates, and these aren't the Chilean one-eyed kind, it's porch pirates swipe packages from a third of holiday shoppers. So when you are thinking about doing Black Monday or Black Friday or whatever it is, consider this. Porch pirates are preparing for what might be their busiest time of the year. Nearly all shoppers expect at least one package to be delivered this holiday season, and if history repeats, almost 1 in 3 will have a parcel swiped between Thanksgiving and Christmas. According to a new report from CNR Research, making matters worse. 1 in 4 shoppers didn't get a refund last year after a package theft and had to shell out an additional $109 on average to replace the items lost. So they're basically saying that, sorry, too bad. You don't have them leave it on your porch or something. Baltimore resident Rosemary Dumbheart, 79, uses a decoy package marked with an X to discourage so-called porch pirates. Wow, really? Huh. It says the findings come as Americans gear up for the Christmas shopping with Black Friday and Cyber Monday just around the corner. It says, quote, we expect to see a rise of package theft to coincide with those 2 popular shopping days, said Matt Zakowicz, name I can't say, a content strategist at the marketing firm Digital Third Coast who helped write the report. It says, quote, people who would be looking to steal packages know that within a week's period, there's going to be the most amount of packages delivered probably all year. So, you know what would be great if somebody did another kind of YouTube video like that guy did? He went through all this trouble to make a glitter bomb thing that he put into a package. And then when the guys would steal it, it would wait a certain amount of time and then it would blow up. Or when they opened it, it would blast glitter in their face. It's a funny video. In fact, it was so clever. I think it's up to like 70 million views or something like that, or over 100 million views, because it was smart. And it worked multiple times. It also did a stink bomb. So it would blast them with a stink bomb, then glitter, then start doing a siren, and people, almost all of them, opened it in their car. It blasted their car, just completely wrecked their car. They would throw it out on the street, and it had GPS and phones and a video reaction of it. If you watch that video, it shows how he did it and everything else. I would love if somebody else did that. I think we should all do that. And I also think if you are going to do a kind of camera system, make your own. There's enough parts out there for you to make a Ring doorbell kind of system that won't later on turn into facial recognition and stuff like that. I do believe it is good to have your homes surveilled. I have cameras all over my house, but mine are actually going to a DVR. They're not connected. They're not connected to any of these smart devices type things. And there's even ones that you can have that text you, but they don't do all that extra crazy stuff. Again, I personally advise against the whole creepy camera stuff. Gloria White, I will not eat my peas. Good one, Marf. God bless. You see what I mean? That's it's totally true. You are so right, Marf. Says Fluffy. Thank you. I appreciate that. John Wick. The commentary needs to happen more often. Poor Steve pulling an Epstein. And I of course, I know it's Ian, but you know what I mean. The commentary needs to happen more often. Poor Steve pulling an Epstein. Brian cannot tell says, Shalom, blessings, everyone. Keep up the good work and much appreciated. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Brian. And all of you guys help and support. Chrissy Chandra, please, Adam, join us on Float app. Free speech there. Post your content there too. I'm on Brighteon. I'm trying to work on DLive. We have not posted on DLive yet. We have over 1,000 subscribers for both channels. Hoop Air FPV, much love, Adam, Dex, and also the mods. I'm starting my film company next month. This show is #1. Please, can you guys do a special with Mountain Man soon? We've actually done quite a good amount of stuff with Mr. Mountain Man. With Mr. Man. Karen Foster, thank you for subscribing. As always, if you are new here and you have not subscribed yet, I actually see it live, and I will shout you out. JR Pale Horse, burning up free chats. That's awesome. Thank you. Of course, talking about it. I guess I finally found out that it's premium. If you pay for YouTube Premium, they give you free super chats to give away. I did not know it was a premium thing. It doesn't make sense, though, because it's actually more money than what the premium costs, so don't know how they're working that one out. Paula McLennan, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Chrissy Shonda, thank you. I appreciate that. Alex Carr says, being interviewed on Cairo in December. Going to try and wear my Marfoogle shirt. Thanks for all you do, Adam, Dex, and fam. Cairo 7 is our local channel. That would be awesome, Alex Carr. I hope you do. ASMR Channy, Marf, just want to bring up Kappa. Please dig into this and make an update on your thoughts. It's going to change YouTube forever and could end it. I'm going to talk about that. It's a huge deal. I'm going to have to change my entire set if they see a freaking Lego in the background. That could get me a $42,000 fine. Fluffy, what is safe to eat? Nothing, I guess. Kim Tanzer, thank you for heading over to Patreon during the show and pledging. We appreciate it. John Wick, diffuse the news with Marfoogle Cruise. I love it. Let's see. Craig Mumbo, the grand solar minimum is upon us. Prepare now. Also choose life. Unborn lives matter. Patty Chapman Lawrence, I wish every country could get along with each other. That would be a miracle to have peace, not war. As they say, can't we all get along? Warrior Ranch Northwest, thank you for subscribing. Again, any of the new subscribers, we always make sure to shout you out. Swift says, loved when Mike Morales was on. Oh my gosh, and that video got dinged so many times. Just having his name in the title was like ding, ding, ding. So you know when somebody's close, when their name is dinged. Lindy Kaz, man has now become God. Perfect, got that one. Okay. And then Zeke White, thank you. I appreciate that. All of you guys supporting. Dana DeGraw, much love from Alaska. And Nick B, premium user, just giving one away. Just dropping it off at the pool or at the Marf. It just got weird. Dana McGraw, thank you again. Johnny Diesel has subscribed. Thank you so much for joining the fam. And now you can be notified. Also, make sure to subscribe to Marfoogle News, our other big channel at 144,000 subscribers. Karen Foster, thank you. And I think that's it. All right, thank you guys. Prepper Ilea, this week in my area, PG&E shut off our power because of a red FLAG warning. Next week is forecasted to snow for 4 days. Hashtag drastic weather change. Almost have to say drastic weather change instead of change, because that's becoming filtered. And Jennifer Jackson, I am from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We have seen a drastic change in weather and began to get tornadoes along with our snow belt shifting. See, this is what I'm talking about. We need to log this stuff. The world is changing around you, and I know that all of you locally have seen it. It doesn't matter where you live. I can assume you have seen some sort of drastic weather change or something that's never happened before. Is that not crazy? And I don't think anybody can prove me wrong on that, because almost anywhere in the world has had weird records, coldest cold or hottest hot. The world is changing, but is that because of us, or is that because of cosmic rays, or is that because of God? Who knows? Road to Prison Marf, please say sundogs on my page. Sun is reflecting off firmament. It will blow your mind, bro. Much love and respect. Happy birthday to April Osborne. That's awesome. I love that you guys all team up together. Colleen Luce Wilson says free super chat for you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Colleen Luce Wilson. All right. Another way you guys can protect yourself and support us. This is a big deal. So we have actually, worked with EMP Shield for a while now. I think you guys already know that. And some of you may already have an EMP Shield protecting you. The big deal is that this is the same mechanisms. These are the same company. This is the same company that is helping the DOD and the Homeland Security Department actually beef up our grid. If you did not know, the actual president, T-Man himself, Commander-in-Chief, signed a new order to basically beef up our grid. There was a ginormous threat against the grid, and therefore he was told about it and then said, this has got to change. So this is actually a device that you can put in many different places. Again, it actually protects against E1, E2, and E3 phases of an electromagnetic pulse or a coronal mass ejection. So this actually works against natural bursts as well. You can get one to protect your home, vehicle, radio, 3-phase, motorcycle, RV, solar protection, and even watercraft protection. But I think the most important one that I think, in my opinion, is the generator. If you have a generator protector, obviously this was actually tested up to 42 times. And then this is the Res Vani I was talking about. I don't know if you guys ever saw when we showed that. It is a $300,000 military-grade vehicle that actually has the EMP shield built in. This is incredible technology, and it is all hand-built in Kansas. You can actually physically wire it into your house. It also has a awesome second use, though, too. It 100% protects your house against lightning. That is guaranteed from the company. It will protect your house from lightning, which is actually, if you think about the price of this compared to a $1,500 deductible if you got struck, it's much better. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. This could save your life. And, of course, we're going to open up phones. We tried to cut down news to make sure it was shorter and get in as many calls as possible. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinions, Dex's opinions, or anyone else who helps with the show, including the wonderful mods. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. And the internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. If you have not seen our other channel, make sure to do so. Just wanted to make sure you guys saw that. Marfoogle News. And here's the cool part. That one's at 145,000 subscribers. All you have to do to actually show a friend it is tell them to go to marfoogle.news. It will actually bring them to a place where they basically can't get past our subscribe. Or go to marfoogle.tv to help show the Foogle Fam call-in shows. All right, and then this is brand new. You guys have never seen this, so for those of you who go get your drinks during our virtual advertisements, Discord, we are creating this, and we believe that the changes, and we know from some insider stuff that this entire platform is going to have massive changes. Again, we want to help protect our smaller creators in this family as well. If you are a YouTube creator with over 100 subs and 20 plus vids, here's the thing. We didn't want to, if you just put one or two things on or did a cell phone video of, your kitchen fire or something like that, that's not who we're trying to help here. We're trying to do no creator left behind. If you are actually putting effort into putting your message out there, doesn't matter what kind of videos you create, we want to help you and we want to team up. Again, we are stronger together than apart. You need to get into our Creators Corner in Discord. Again, the requirements are at least 100 subs. And, if you have less than that, but if you have more than 20 vids, that actually might be able to work as well. We want to make sure that we're not just helping somebody with one video or something like that. You have to be putting effort into your channel. We are going to actually try to create and try to help. We're trying to make a system to where, we can even possibly look into, legally protecting us as a group. So this is a big deal. A lot of people are going to disappear. If you value your channel, get involved. I'm talking to all of my bigger YouTuber friends, everybody who's bigger than me. I'm getting several people down on this. This is a huge deal. So there's a lot of us. I've been working nonstop behind the scenes to try to do something to make an impact on this level. I haven't even talked about it yet, but I'm telling you, we've got some big names to try to get in on this. So please get in the Creators Corner. That's the very first start of it. That's just us trying to get all of the Foogle Fam creators. And so we, because there's hundreds now. So again, get in there. And then an exclusive military channel. If you are new here, there's over 11,000 people prepping in different groups. Go to marfooglenews.com and sign up for Marfoogle alerts and Discord. I showed you that earlier. It's right there at the top of the screen. Boom, boom, boom. Just go bam, bam, bam. Join Discord and alerts. And then if you would like to watch the Earthing movie, it's a high-budget film. Came out on the red carpet just a few months ago. We got to see it before anyone else because of our relationship with Clint Ober. It is The Remarkable Science of Grounding, the Earthing movie with Amy Smart, Muriel Hemingway, Deepak Chopra, and it's free. Go watch it at marfooglenews.com/GT. And then, of course, if you would like to support us, Clint Ober's company does the, kind of the top-of-the-line ground therapy products. There's knockoffs all over the place, but Clint Ober is the man who is behind 25-plus medical studies proving that ground therapy decreases inflammation, good for all sorts of arthritis, things like that. And then again, improves sleep and digestion. That was the biggest thing for me. I used to have huge problems with it. Just my personal story is that, this helped my sleep. That's why our shows are not at 1 a.m. anymore and 4 a.m. Eastern. It's because my sleep is so much better. If you've never tried it, go to marfooglenews.com/earthing and then make sure to use that free code MH for Muriel Hemingway for free shipping. And then, of course, last but not least, all of our t-shirt sales go to Cars for Heroes on this particular shift. So all of these different models of shirts, the Marfia, the Love Mob, and the Marfia, which actually you can't see it, but real small, it says the Cabal, Deep State, all that on the puppeteers. These all go for Cars for Heroes. So again, I've seen other creators, give 10%, 30%. We give 100% of all the proceeds from this to Cars for Heroes for veterans, basically to get transportation. Go to marfooglenews.com/t-shirts, and that's the way we like it. I don't know why I added the song part, but that's just to make it weird. All right, boom. We've got over 3,000 folks here, just barely. If 2 people go to the bathroom, we're back down to 29. All right, we're going to get the phone calls rolling in. First, we have Kathy Pa'aina from Hawaii. That's the way we like it. Oh, I might get copyright just for humming. That's how bad it's gotten. Who else has that stuck in their head now? Kathy Bahaina, what is going on?
Yes. Hi.
All right, you are live on Marfoogle.
Hi. Hello, Marf.
Now, Kathy, before we start, can you have do me a small favor though and turn off your me in the background?
Now, Kathy,
okay.
Can you have do me a small favor though and turn off your me in the background?
Okay, I got it. Okay.
All right.
Got it.
Perfect.
That better?
Okay, so Kathy, you wanted to talk about let's see here. You wanted to bring up weather and why it's weird. Pole shift. Go ahead.
Yes. I do. I've been studying it. Laura Wells has a really good explanation about the pole shift, and there's a man that's very learned in it. I think his name is Tyler. This pole shift that's happening, the magnetic pole shift, is moving at 4.5 miles every 15 days. That's fast. And it was supposed to slow down. It will normally slow down during the summer and then pick up during the winter, but it did the opposite. Now, when this occurs, they're expecting this to happen in 2023, the complete shift. And when it does, there'll be water that moves up from the south. Down where I live here in Hawaii, there is, on the equator, a piece of water that's about the shape of the Bermuda Triangle. It just sits there happily down on the equator. But when this shift happens, it's all going to move north. Everything is going to move, but it's not going to be the kind of move that everyone is expecting. It's just going to throw us all off because things just aren't going to work. You better know how to read the stars. The stars will not be off.
When the shift hits the plan,
No, the shift is moving already. It's when it comes into the point where, as it's moving over by Siberia. Okay, so it's at Siberia. It's supposed to be on top of where we're at, the North Pole. It's moved that far. But you can sometimes end up with not a pole on one side and the other side. You could end up with 4 poles. So there's a program that when it messes up the GPS, when people are going to have an EMP or a coronal mass, Britain changed all of their ships or put this old program on called Larsen. And Larsen can function without GPS, without the satellites. And so that's one thing that people have done. I wished America did too, but I don't know for sure if they have. Somebody did come over here and did a lot of work on ships for 6 months, but they didn't talk about what it was. Also, this is what's causing the change in the weather. There's, there, you got it on there. And the magnetic north, that's why some of the aurora borealis that you're seeing is down lower into the states now, because all these different things will change. Well, it's going to have an effect on our weather. And not only that, but there's the solar winds, the sun. We're going through what's called a grand solar minimum. And when that happens, there's times when the sun comes around, it's got the 2 holes, and Blue Kool-Aid can tell you a lot better about this, his pictures. But it will show there's 3 of them in a line right now, the sun. And so some will put out plasma, some will be the solar winds, regular class G, G1s, G2s. That's causing the winds. Now, when these winds come down from the sun, and they just hit us here in Hawaii, and I know that they're solar winds because they're warm. So you hit a warm with cold air that's coming down, and this is how you get the tornadoes. They're caused by the cold front coming and the warm front coming. So the warm air, which is like the winds, like the Santa Anas that they get in California, those are caused by the sun. There's solar flares, solar flares. And ours were really fast today. They were in the 70s. Good thing we didn't have any fires. And
I'm surprised that you guys don't get more of that. Just to give you a heads up, Kathy, too, we did hit time.
Well, I wanted to tell you about the hail we got. We had hail
in Hawaii.
The other night. We had 3 lightning storms, and this is very rare. We do not get lightning storms. And the next day, I heard we had hail about the size of a dime, and some of them maybe littler, in Waikele and 2 other areas on Oahu. And it has been almost 40 years since I've heard of hail. So it was rare, but you see those dark clouds coming, you hear those sounds. They warn you that there's severe storms. The wind just keeps those up there, and they keep getting colder, and the moisture adds, and then you got hail, and it's too heavy, and it falls. So be prepared for all those little things. Thank you. I hope that was a good explanation.
No, well, thank you so much for calling in, Kathy. And I just pulled it up. There's videos all over it of hail in Waikili and during Tuesday's severe weather. That is absolutely nuts. This is exactly what we're talking about.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely
that's it.
Nuts. Well, thank you so much for calling in, Kathy.
So it must have shocked them.
We're gonna start logging these weird events. So thank you so much. You have a great night. Okay.
Okay, and I left you a message about my artistic thing. I'd like to collaborate with you. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. The Lord loves you.
All right, God bless you too. This is exactly the thing I want you guys to let me know about. Did anyone hear about this hail in Hawaii? Now, I understand that looks like they had a kind of a closed circumstance thing in 2012, but this doesn't happen. Hello, you are live on Marfoogle TV. Nick, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, so Nick, I'm going to pull up your card here. It says you are a first-time caller talking about Russia and Turkey, and make sure to say Raya, calling out of Illinois. What's going on?
Yes, I'm just wondering about what's going on with Russia, Turkey, and Syria, with ethnic cleansing going on up in northern Syria.
Okay, if we could not say that one S word, because that is one of the biggest filter words on the planet.
I'm sorry.
Are you asking what is going on, or do you have something an observation?
An observation.
Okay. All right, go for it.
I think it's been going on about 4 weeks now, hasn't it? 4 weeks.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and keep going.
And I'm trying to refrain from the S word, okay? I'm sorry. With all that going on and not talking, it's kind of depressing now. What do you think about Russia and thing they're doing with the joint patrols over there? Do you think it can? Do you think there will be a peace treaty going on in that region over there?
Well, as far as a peace treaty goes, I know of some things that they've done as far as like ceasefires and things like that. One thing I would say is I don't know what kind of phone you're calling in on, but a lot of people are saying that they can't understand what you're saying because of the audio quality. Are you on speakerphone or?
Now? Yeah, it's on speaker. Is it better now?
Yes, it's much better.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
So are you? I guess I don't. Because of the audio, I was having a little issue. If you were asking questions or saying something.
There's a you know about Netanyahu, about criminal charges? Because the U.S. is trying to start a peace treaty with Israel, and a thing going on with the whole region down there in the south, up the north, and the west over there.
Okay, well, I guess the one thing I would say is I guess I have nothing really to comment about that. I know that there's a lot of inside stuff going on, and I don't think we're getting nearly close to the truth of what's really going on over there. In fact, that's why anything related to those things are filtered out of this platform. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm actually in kind of the same boat. I don't have an inside source There, we just got a couple sources that are over there, and they were actually the same people that.
Usually follow Twitter on that stuff, and yeah.
Yes, they did.
So, and the other topic I was relating to is Hong Kong and China.
Okay, and then just to give you a heads up, where you have 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Okay. Do you think that bill by Donald Trump will be passed by the bill that Hong Kong with the protests going up there? Do you think that can solve the problem over there?
No, I don't think any order or bill is going to fix what's going on right now. Now, are you talking about the
I think it could.
The financial situation with the back and forth?
Yeah.
No, I think it's only getting worse.
Over there, the conflict is getting worse over there because the U.S. has still 2 warships over there. I think it's getting worse.
Well, I think that assumption is safe to say. Some folks don't realize that there are so many things going on with us and them, with the South China Sea.
World, yeah.
What we were talking about at the beginning. Yeah, no, I think you agree with me on that one then. So.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well,
conflict everywhere.
Nick, thank you so much for calling in, and it's your first time call. I hope it's not your last. I appreciate you, okay?
I won't. Yeah, nice to meet you, man.
All right, thank you so much. Bye-bye. I think the quality of that, the sound, that's rough because it's like, he can't control that. But when sound is a thing that, people cannot take, that's the biggest suggestion I have to YouTubers, period, about just their own channel and the audio they're putting out. If there's bad sound, people just tune out. Let's see here. Up next, we have Dave. Dave, you are live on Marfoogle TV. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man?
And you want to talk about the virus outbreak in Colorado? Calling from Alabama. Go. What's up?
All right. So, I was actually doing a report here on some virulency factors in most common bacteria and viruses in the classifications, and the classifications of the phenotype is very dependent on whether or not it's going to be, it's going to impact certain genes. So if you look on the page there,
and I'm gonna pull it up. If you could try to talk just a little bit louder into the phone. I have you
dropped my phone. I don't know if is this better? I think I messed my headphones up.
That's all right.
Better? Worse?
It's a little bit better. You're fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know I gotta get the headphones. All right, so anyway, I had looked on this and trends and outbreaks. Oh, those are laboratory information, right? So you have the virus. Oh, Siri, oh my God, my Siri just randomly turned on.
That's because you're talking to Marfoogle.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it happened. It happened the other day too. It's weird. All right, so you have these neuroviruses, which are RNA strand viruses, right? And here it lists the genotypes, right? You have the genotypes for viruses and phenotypes for bacteria, right? So you have the G1, G2, and the G4. This is the variations of the G2 genotype is the most common cause of the neurovirus. But see, if you look down here, humans build up an immunity for a short period, like six months to nine years. It all depends, and whether or not you're susceptible to the neurovirus is determined by your genes. right? So not everybody's going to get this. Like you have what's called an innate, you have an innate immunity, right? So
I'm here listening to you.
Hold on, what? It still has the YouTube. Every time I try to pull up my Word document and try to pull up YouTube. All right, so you have correlations between antibiotic-resistant bacteria and geographic locations are somewhat apparent in the United States. But I'm going to say this as fast as I can because I had this all typed out, which opened up some interesting information into finding out where the issue may be coming from. Shockingly, the southern regions of the United States seem to have higher antibiotic-resistant bacteria than Midwestern regions of the United States. To determine the root cause of this issue, a study involving cats, which I had looked up, and antibiotic-resistant E. coli, which is both transferred from cats and humans, aided in the understanding that certain E. coli bacteriums, like other antibiotic-resistant bacteria, may stem from virulent genomes, and proposes the root cause of other antibiotic-resistant bacteria to be in line with the virulence genome hypothesis, right? With what I told you with the other virulence, right? You have the other genomic features with the virus that you're tracking, right? So I'm going to be around trying to do this as fast as I can because it's like 5 minutes. So
well, it's okay. As being fast, I appreciate, but make sure to explain what you're trying to say in simple terms. Okay. So try to get everybody behind you on what you actually mean.
All right. So basically, you have certain regions, right, which factor in the whether or not the environmental factors and the natural innate human factors of the immunity towards these viruses and bacteria, right? So it may not, because I mean, even the thing says it may be neurovirus, like, but they don't want to take the chance, right? Because it's a very contagious disease. But there's an incubation period of anywhere between 12 to 48 hours and 24 to 48 hours, and the median is 33 hours, right? So, but what really caught my eye when you were talking about it is that you said the people felt absolutely fine, and then out of nowhere, they would just have sudden vomiting, right?
Yeah.
Now, that seems to be more of a bacterium, right? So when you look and study this website, when it looks over that these viruses and what they do to people, they cause general malaise, they cause these just gut-wrenching aches, they have all these, pains all over your body, similar to a flu, but not as bad. You would think that these people would be exhibiting symptoms of a viral infection. And the difference between a viral infection and a bacteria infection is very clear. Most times, a bacterial infection, you won't even know what's going on. And you won't even know you're sick. You'll just, out of nowhere, start exhibiting the most worst symptoms, right? So if I'm allowed, can I continue on one of the...
Well, we're past time, so I just need you to be very succinct and to the point.
Yeah, so to get to the point, you have these cases, right? Anywhere ranging between 25 and 61% of all these bacteria that are resilient against antibiotics. And what can happen is some people can be started to be treated with this viral infection, which could almost be a bacterial infection. And then if they catch it and it seems to be a bacteria that can't be treated, then there could be a serious issue. And that would lead to be because 11 schools for a virus, come on. I mean, that's a little much for a stomach flu. You know, if it's so common, why shut down just 11 schools?
Okay,
I mean,
so I get what you're saying, and again, they didn't say it was a norovirus. They were not able to actually. They don't even know what it is, and they closed 11.
Yeah.
That's what I said. This is very suspicious. If you don't know what he's talking about, at the beginning of the show, we talked about there were. Let's see here. I think I still have it open. Maybe not. Neuroviruses that were taking out the whole school district. So it's pretty bad. In fact, here it is. Extremely contagious virus outbreak shutters U.S. school district, infects hundreds of kids. They just, as soon as 1 hour after they got it, boom, they were vomiting. And 11 schools apparently, and you must have looked that up. I was wondering how many schools were in that district. All closed. They said we're closing right now to let this thing pass on. But in fact, since it's only been a day, we don't know. What if they go back to school in 2 weeks or a week or whatever, and it continues? Or what if these kids in a couple days die? We don't know.
Yeah, because it really sucks. I don't have much time, but
we're over time. So Dave, you gotta wrap it up. Sorry, I have to be more. It's not. I feel bad.
I feel so bad.
But I'm trying to be more strict on it.
But it is a risk. You're right, because there is a 6 month to 9 year span. You could hold this in you. You know, there's a, you know what I mean. So it's, you know, just closing down the school does nothing, even if it was a virus. So I'll just leave it with that. You know, maybe somebody else who can maybe pick on with it. It was really hard to get through it. I didn't mean to be rude.
You're not rude. Nobody's rude. Nobody's rude here. And again, just tonight we were turning in. The thing is we have to get as many callers as possible. You know, there are people that sit there forever, and then our shows have become now 3 hours, which that's because we try to get in. So we're cutting both of them short down because the problem here is 3 hour shows are getting cut. Somebody just posted Sam Tripoli got deleted. There's all sorts of issues. I'm going to talk about that at the very end. But thank you for calling in, Dave. Don't be discouraged from calling in again.
I really appreciate it.
And I appreciate it. Have a good night, Dave.
All right, thank you, man.
All right, bye-bye.
Have a good one, man.
So here's the issue too. There's a lot of changes coming. Somebody just posted Sam Tripoli was terminated. If you guys didn't know, he does like I was looking up the tinfoil hat talks and different stuff. I think he does a podcast too. We have to make a few big changes. We have to be very succinct. We have to be to the point, and we also have to get it to under 2 hours, which is not going to happen tonight. We've got to get our zone down. Let's see here. BOD, you are live on Marfoogle TV. What's going on?
Hi, how you doing?
Absolutely great. What's going on?
Let me turn you off.
All right.
I hate to tell you guys this, but you guys are my favorite people, which really sucks. But we've got to keep it to 5 minutes exactly, just because of the new stuff that's going down.
If I want to feel good about myself, I call you to make me feel good. Okay, all right, I'm going to try. I have everything written down. Okay, so anyways, I got Shannon left a response or a comment on one of YouTube videos. And anyways, and we got a reply back. Check this out. It says, I sent you a link to it.
Okay. I'll pull it up here.
Okay, so the video, go on. Okay, it says, I once befriended a woman from China who was very nice, and she told me one day that China was going to take over the U.S. and Canada, and she was very matter of fact about it. And then added that they were taught in the school system there about it. Okay, so they raised them up to teach them. But the weird thing about it is I didn't give it a second thought, and then one day we're watching some videos on, the China stuff, and And so I decided to go look at it again. And when I went on it, was the next day, it was completely wiped off. It was erased. But there was still a thing showing on my inbox that it was there. But then when I went to go click on it, it was gone. Completely erased off my YouTube the next day, which was really weird. And I had to go onto my email to find what she said again.
That is super weird. There was
Isn't it?
There was a Chinese woman who reached out to our channel, not the one that we made the video of, a different one that said,
I remember that.
That video, by the way, she said a lot of the stuff. People debated that she was a government official there or something, or some sort of plant over here. We get that on everybody that calls in. If it's PG&E, it's a PG&E plant. If it's a Chinese woman, it's a Chinese plant. No matter who calls in, right? But this other woman called in and said that they're designing things in the app, the WeChat app, to essentially make them have a lower view of the U.S. Now, I can't confirm that. I don't have the WeChat app, but there's been American YouTubers that have said that it kind of puts them down, or that some of the studies they're doing, right? They're asked to study inside the app, study things like the president, right? Study Xi Jinping's history, and the more you know and the more you're tested on it, the better it can help your social credit score. So if you're a very studious student, and we're talking about adults doing this app, they're apparently maybe it's a separate thing of WeChat, but Dex, do you know if it's separate?
Yeah.
Dex,
No, Adam, it's all
it's
all under WeChat. Yeah.
It's
So
just really weird how that, especially because it disappeared off of my app, you know, and it was just straight erased.
We might be disappeared off of your app. Honestly, we are seeing people left and right drop. So I'm praying that we can all keep this thing going, and I pray that people stand up if we do get taken down.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and there's one more thing I wanted to tell you about. I'm just going to tell you about 3 different links. Look them up later on, but I want other people to, and so that way Shannon could talk to you real quick. Okay. Ken Peters, he is on the Prophecy Club. I sent you a link to that. He talks about you need to really watch it, and I highly suggest it. It is a prophecy,
oh my gosh.
But it's very...
Okay, I've got the link here.
Yeah.
You pull up Ken Peters, and then it looks like
Yeah,
I've got a troll to pull up
then.
too. Okay, hold on. Let me see.
Yeah. And then you also have the two preachers. They have weather disasters that are happening around the world on there. I mean, they do like a weekly thing. So about everything that's going on around the world, and you would be amazed. You were amazed about the hail. Take a look at those videos.
Okay, so check guys.
Really
check out what she's talking about. I'm not going to play it for copyright. Prophet Ken Peters. I saw the Great Tribulation. That's what BOD and Shan, who we'll talk to in a second, are friends with the channel. They are part of the California group. You guys are awesome. Seriously, like I if I go to California, I'm staying on their couch. Heaven visit.
Face up.
Because it's not only like a lot of people say that I can sleep on their couch. It depends if I can, if I'm worried if I can sleep face up or face down, that kind of thing. So
we do have a 3-legged pit bull you might want to look out for.
And that's why I say probably going to skip that one now. But so let's.
He's more scared than our Chihuahua.
But again, and then there's a second one here. So there's a video of a troll. So should I talk to you or Shan?
I was looking for these people who are just banging on your show like that. And this guy, he's a doctor. I think his name is Ivis, born to Troya. He might be Russian. I'm not sure, or English, but I found this guy, and he needs to get off the internet altogether.
Okay, well I'm gonna check out this video. I'm assuming. Hold on, let me see here. I'm assuming I've got permission to play this troll's video.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
And the background voices are for sure not Overland Rob and Brenda. For sure, it's not them.
Okay, we're gonna play it. So again, this is not Overland Rob and Brenda in the background, and this is not Shan from BOD. This is a troll. It says Marfoogle troll at it again.
Looking for him. He's criminally insane and escaped. Him aided by his AI Dex. Hello, I'm Dr. Ibis Born Petroleum. I'm here to tell you about this Marfoogle fellow. We've been looking for him. He's criminally insane and escaped. Him aided by his AI Dex, who's obviously AI by as many things as he does at once. No human can actually do that. And furthermore...
Hey, there's the guy that stole the doctor's coat. Let's get him!
Yeah, that was most definitely not Shan, right?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like your voice at all.
No, that was Dr. Ibis Born Petroleum, from what I understand.
Yeah. Dr. Ibis, that guy, I've honestly been running from him since before YouTube. He's been stalking me for years.
He might be a patient. He might be a patient in a facility other than a doctor. I have a sneaking suspicion.
It's kind of suspicious, though, that this is on Overland Rob's channel. When you said that wasn't Overland Rob's voice in the background?
That's why. Absolutely not.
No.
Huh.
No.
Very,
not filmed at a get-together either.
Very interesting.
It was not filmed at a meetup at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, hey, by the way, just real quick, because I do want to push this. These guys go to the meetups in California with Overland Rob and all these guys. Would you not say that it's been a positive thing, you guys meeting with all of your California groups?
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely. We have people.
You recently lost somebody
on the phone too.
You recently lost somebody.
11 yeah, we did. Yeah.
Now,
he was.
Go ahead.
11 Pagan 11 also, he met up with us on the phone when we had our last meetup, which was awesome. And you just talked to her the other day.
Yeah, the gentleman that passed away, we didn't get to know him too well. We were at one meetup with him,
Yes.
but he was very nice and
Yes.
he really did. I mean, it was like his family. I don't know. He was just. It's kind of hard to talk about.
Yeah,
like I said, we only met him once. I know we chit-chatted, I guess, online or on Discord, but
he considered the Foogle family his family, and he honestly found purpose in this group and in this channel. And it's not, these are not people that are fans of mine or the channel. It's the group we've built here.
He did really love you.
Yeah, he did really love you. And also, that was the last thing I expected to happen, because he was like one of those older guys who was tougher than a 50-cent steak. He just looked like he was gristle, and he could take anything that came his way, and he'd been through everything, and he could tell you how it worked. And I mean, he was really cool.
He was a scientist. He was a very intelligent man.
Yeah, and he also had a little Rambo streak in him too, I think.
It was.
No, I did.
It was Dawn, I believe.
Oh, go ahead.
It was Dawn, right?
Ron.
Sorry. What I want to do is I want to actually try to figure out if I can get some information on him or see if I can talk to. The thing is he did not have any family.
Overland would have it.
We need pictures or something. So I would like to put some sort of memorial out.
Okay.
We have a pic where he's in it in the group pic, I think.
No, he's not in the
group. He's not in the group pic?
He didn't get on our group pic. No. Angelina, I think that's how you say her name. She does the meetups for that area over there, and so he's been attending her. So she would have more information on him. You can find her on Discord.
I think Overland has some information on him too, as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, you guys, I would love to talk to you later, and then let me know when you guys do your next meetup. Love to show up via Skype again.
Okay.
Oh, and you know how you came up with the idea for the camera cover, the lens cover for the phones and the eavesdropping by the government and everything?
Oh yeah.
I came up with the exact same thing, and I have another idea for something very much like that I'd like to talk to you about. I'm serious. It's a really good idea, and they don't have it yet.
You just cover your face?
Down to think of it soon.
No,
I already did that.
Years before they even discovered those. Too.
That's a given.
He has $1 million brain.
Yeah, I think about like when the big earthquake hits. no, don't run away from it. Run towards it with like gold mining material, because all the stuff's gonna come up when that happens in the fall. The magma's gonna bring up the gold. I'm gonna be like, woohoo, let's do this. And mutate to adapt.
Okay, let me tell you. Look, I got two other channels to tell you really quick. The two preachers, they talk about weather disasters, and also the Impossible channel talks about a lot of weird anomalies that are happening.
His name is James, and he sounds very much like this. Welcome to the That's Impossible channel. I'll show you things that's impossible.
Yeah, supposedly a tree sprouted up overnight through a car, and that seems impossible, but yeah, it's weird.
Make like that movie Frozen. We gotta let it go.
I love you.
All right, love you guys.
Give the baby a big kiss.
All right,
we'll up the couch for you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Those guys are meeting them on Skype and all that, like, they're the life of the party. They're that couple that like make the party. They're the couple that get out on the dance floor first and get it all, like, you know, everybody get going. So I literally, like, people like this are all over the Marfoogle family. He loves making people laugh. Like, that's his thing. They're just the perfect friend couple. Like, I wish they were here. My wife and I would, like, literally, you know, we would go out together. All right. Road to Prison. You were live on Marfoogle TV. What's going on?
Oh, just same old, brother. Just like I always say, trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. How about you, bud? You all right?
I am good. I mean, there's a lot of serious stuff going on right now everywhere. It's kind of crazy, trying to make it positive.
Yeah, I hear you. Like my boy Snafu Snap says, the optics are high right now.
Yes.
Crazy out there.
Yes, they are. So let's see here. I'm gonna pull you up a card because I'm sitting here not knowing what I'm doing. Sorry about that. Sundogs is a reflection on the dome. Now you have a video here. What am I showing here?
It'll be a video that I put on my channel. I just did. I've been wanting to do an experiment for a long time. I just haven't had the time. I never have the time to do anything. I'm surprised I had time to wipe my backside when I use the toilet, you know. But this is a guy that I've been following for a while now, who's assisted me in opening my eyes with the truth that I've been seeking. And his name is Terry Eichert. He's a Facebook guy, and he is a flat earther, and he brings simple logic to the question of, is it round or is it flat? And so sundogs, which you've talked about them before on here, you're familiar with that, right?
Yes, we basically explain. A lot of people used to turn in pictures of this to us, and then we basically explained what the theory of sundogs are, which that's what they say this is, as a scientific explanation of what you see. When you see this, they call that a sundog.
Right. And they say that it's ice crystals in the atmosphere that's reflecting off of the sun rays, which are six-sided hexagon crystals, so that would mean that all the crystals that are in the sky, they're claiming that are of the same shape, which I find that hard to believe, because anybody knows that, you know, natural snowflakes are never the same. They're individual and unique as, you know, a fingerprint or, you know, a blade of grass. But anyways,
which is weird, since like flowers and things are so there's so many things in nature that are symmetrical, right? There's flowers with exact number of petals, exact thing, this, that. There's so many things that are perfect, but that's one thing that's not, right? And that's the one thing that they say creates this effect, which would require a perfect six-sided thing, right? That's what's so weird about it.
Right. Yeah, but at the same time, when you mention that flowers and everything are symmetrical, you know, they only appear to be symmetrical, but when you look at them closely with a microscope or with a magnifying glass, you'll see that the flower may appear to be the same, but the veins and the shape and the details of it are all unique and individual. Nothing is the same, even though it just appears to be the same on the outside. So I find it hard to believe that millions of ice crystals in the sky shaped in, six-sided shapes are going to be exactly alike. I find that to be a crock of nonsense. And this explanation that Terry Eichert presents is very simple. And anybody could do this experiment at home if they wanted to do it. You have to have the right conditions, the lighting, the perfect, I wouldn't say perfect, but the right piece of glass. So if you want to, speed up through the video, you'll be able to know, you'll see a couple of interviews, and you might want to zip through it to where it gets to the point where he's in his home and he's doing the actual experiment. So if you want to go speed up through it, I don't have an actual timestamp, but just scroll through it. You'll see where he gets into the house.
Let's see. This is now what part am I looking for? Because this is a 7-minute video, so it's not that long. Go in probably about say about 5 minutes in. And what is the visual part that we're looking for?
You'll see him, the man. He'll be wearing a pair of sunglasses, and he'll be talking into the camera, and he's going to do a little experiment for everybody to check it out, so they'll actually see what sun dogs are. And you may want to play the sound too.
Okay, let me.
There's no music or anything on it.
Okay.
What I'm going to be using for my demonstration today is simply just to show you is what you think are sun dogs, what science tells you are sun dogs, which are the sun's light refracting through ice crystals in the sky. Well, then they'd be all over the sky in different spots, but they're not. They're always the same distance away from the sun, one on each side. And every now and then, you'll see the one right over the top of it, right in the middle of the dome, the firmament. So what I'm going to show you is it's nothing more than the sun's reflection off of the glass firmament above. Check this out. Reflection on each side of the glass bowl from the light source. Now, as the sun makes its circuit around the earth, at one point in time of the day, you will see camera, and I've showed it to you guys several times. If it were ice crystals, it wouldn't be the same distance away on each side of the sun, and only the same two spots every time. And
okay. So I don't know if you guys. By the way, Road to Prison, we can't hear you because you're not plugged in here yet. So I played the audio on this. Do you guys see what he's doing? He's got the thing here. Basically saying that there's a dome over the earth, and that's why it's the exact same distance. So I'm going to pull Road to Prison back in and undo the sound from this. But I do want to say something about this because I understand. I get what you're saying here. So, but couldn't you say the same thing about how this is possibly because we have our atmosphere or whatever, right?
Well, it's a possibility. Anything's a possibility.
Because we do have a dome over us, right?
You see on the screen.
As far as what they say,
well,
they say we have
believe
a dome of that protective layer.
Well, remember the story that you did where NASA declared that the moon was in our atmosphere? Well, that's, why would they say that it's in our atmosphere? And anyways.
That is weird.
This man here, right. So Terry Eichert, we're in a geocentric, system. We're not in a heliocentric system, in my personal beliefs. And this guy, Terry Eichert, he has a lot of very awesome information, and you can find him on Facebook only, Terry Eichert, Eichert. But he personally had a Encyclopedia Americana. It's like an Encyclopedia Britannica, but it was the Americana version, and it was from the early 50s when that's how we all got our information, because I remember playing with encyclopedias when I was a kid before the internet was available to everybody. And in one of these copies, there is a report from Admiral Byrd who, explored the Antarctic, and he gives specifics on the, latitude and longitude of the dome. So, and supposedly the dome is like 450,000 feet high. I'm not remember the number, but if you guys go on to Terry Eichert's page, you can research all this stuff, and it's very interesting. And there's a lot of information out there that would probably trip people's minds if they're still in the belief that we're on a round ball zipping through space at millions of miles an hour. Everybody, the stars haven't moved. I mean, nothing has changed, in millions of years, but we can't feel the Earth moving through space as fast as it's going. But we can feel an earthquake. I just, come on, you know what I mean? So, and what it boils down for me is that I believe in God and Creator, and I've had my woes and tribulations through life, and I don't know if you remember, but I had open heart surgery back in 2018, and I made a deal with God that I would stick around and I would do His work for Him as long as He showed me the truth. And I believe that God has guided me through this past couple of years of life. Whether people believe that or not, that's what I believe. So, and along that path,
I believe
He showed me the truth.
He's here for all of us. That we all have our own path, and everything is everything is done for a purpose. So
everything happens for a reason, and that's why I support you wholeheartedly, because I believe that you're here for a purpose as well, brother. So, and that's my personal opinion on it. And I know a lot of people won't agree with me, but that's okay. That's fine. We all have free will. We just have to pick and choose what we do with it.
Well, thank you, Road to Prison, and I do appreciate it. One thing is for sure, you definitely go with your heart, and you go with your instinct and what tells you what is right. And we all, we're all going by that kind of thing, but you definitely take it to the next level. And I know your intentions are good, and I know that you are a good man inside, as many of us are, and there's just a lot of stuff going on right now. So thank you so much for calling in Road to Prison.
For sure.
And I hope to hear from you again.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And
for sure, man.
I'm praying for everything in your life to be going good as well. Obviously, everybody's been just in a lot of craziness right now. So make sure to watch the video back, okay? Just want to put a smile on your face.
I appreciate you taking my call.
All right. You too.
I appreciate it, man. Much love to everybody.
All right.
Be good.
Bye-bye.
Love y'all.
The Road to Prison usually watches the channel. He watches his own calls just to make sure he didn't say anything wrong. So we'll make sure. Yeah. All right. So let's see here. Deanna D. Lagarza, thanks for all you do, Marf. Idahoan Ohana, I love it. Idahoan Ohana, free super chat for you. Thank you so much for giving it to me out of all the wonderful channels on the internet. David Pope, thank you. Christina Potwin, which, by the way, I did see your stuff the other day, and I don't know if you caught it on the next show. I went back and I said sorry. It hasn't been showing me all of the super chats, so if I missed it, we usually catch it, but I apologize. You've got to check out the tree sprouting up through the car overnight. So when you commented that, Christina, I pulled it up. I don't believe it. I think this is just some sort of Reddit thing, and it is a clever trick, right? You would think that this was something that Chris Angel or somebody would do, right? There's no way it says some tinfoil hat wearers have reported on this incident, claiming it's proof of a glitch in the Matrix or teleportation. They may con some naive people into believing that, but if you do a little research, you'll find there's an explanation for just about everything. So that they say that this tree grew through the car overnight. So people got to work, and then the car was on this. I actually am confused how they would have done that. They would have had to have a full team. I actually don't get that. Unless there's, that actually is confusing. But if this is the only picture, then obviously it could be, ton of different things. I don't know the full story behind this, but of course that is pretty unique and pretty crazy. Amazing Montana Life, thank you for subscribing. As always, if you are new here and you just subscribed, you will get a live shout out. Thank you so much for joining the fam. Brandy Brunson, thank you so much for the super chat. Spud Ruckus, contact Sam Tripoli. His channel was terminated. That hurts. Like, seriously, I didn't know who he was. I just Googled it. That, like, hurts. I cannot tell you. I think all of us are going very soon. Like, that's just scary. I hope you guys stand up for him and everyone else. I hope they realize, like, we're not doing anything wrong. We're using the platform for a positive purpose. I honestly hope that, not a lot of people do take action, right? If you're a Supreme fan, I hope that you actually do something. Not a lot of people do. They think, oh, somebody else will do it. And everybody's thinking the same thing. Oh, somebody else will stand up for it and bring it back. It doesn't work like that. If you really like him as a person, he doesn't have very many friends right now. So I will try to do whatever I can. TB Ghost 3%. Yeah, dollar bills. Hey, Marf and fam. Thank you, TB Ghost 3%. Mark Sketch, oops, I'm late. Looks like all's going well, though. 3,000 on live at the moment. Go Foogle Fam. Thank you, Mark Sketch. Terry Gomez, hated for life. Or hashtag hated for life. Thank you so much. I don't know about the hashtag, though. I hope you're not hated for life. Rome Town Girl, thank you for going over and heading and pledging to Patreon during the show. Thank you so much. Lets me know that, so thank you. Kim S., I appreciate your donation. Yeah. And Colleen Luce Wilson, thank you again. I appreciate that so much. Prosperous Music. All snowflakes contain 6 sides or points owing to the way in which they form. The molecules in ice crystals join one another to a hexagonal structure. Colleen Luce Wilson says, I got 4. The free $5 chat things. Seriously, Colleen Luce Wilson, next time I think they're going to do that again. Make sure to spread the love, spread it to, one of our good friends, Jacob Israel. Let's see, Prepper Nurse 1, Edge of Wonder, any of those guys. Spread the love. Colleen Luce Wilson, thank you, and all the mods, thank you so much. And the Deuce 5, the 25, I guess, the Deuce 5, thank you so much for doing that as well. I appreciate you guys. So Dex, with this whole tree thing, have you seen this?
I heard the headline, but I never went and looked at it. Now that I see the picture, it's pretty crazy.
That should have been in our weird news. I did not hear about this either, and I look. We spend a lot of time finding the news. This is most likely, kind of something that originated at one of the Reddit type things or that kind of thing, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I heard the headline I heard was like a tree pierced a car, and I thought, okay, well, a tree fell on a car, big deal. But that picture is pretty amazing.
Now, again, there are things you can do to help us. Dex, would you not agree? Like this, this whole platform is going to change. We all have to stand together. And you, by the way, and Dex is an intelligent, incredibly intelligent man. We're building structure together, and he's going to help us build something to where we can all be a little bit safer here. So make sure to join that. Dex, would you not say that?
Yeah.
We should all get together on this?
Absolutely. We're better together, and or we can do to help learn from one another, grow together, show strength in a united front. I think that would be beneficial in this community. So the more we can get together and do that, the better. I think the first step here in creating the Creators Corner, that's in our Discord. If you guys are creating, if you are creating content on the platform, head over there and join, so we can start to collaborate and talk about things. One other side note, I did capture, I know a lot of the callers tonight had a lot of information and links. I was able to capture a lot of that on the website already. So if you guys are looking for all those links, those channels, just head over to the website after the show. You'll be able to find this show's episode and where we normally have the show topics, we have our articles. As Adam has shown you earlier, we now have the caller information there as well. So
do you
make it easy for
So just so you guys know, this is how cool this is. The callers that called in live, their information is now already. So watch this. This is before. I didn't refresh yet. Watch this. So here's what it looked like before. Refresh. Boom. Look at this. Information on all the channels. So this is another thing that we are going to do. There's some systems that are going to be put in place that we're going to try to defend against. Most likely, we'll not be posting links in chat at some point. What we're going to do is we're going to do a step better than that. At the end of the show, we're going to try to put stuff there so you guys can go, and if there's a cool channel, you guys can actually go and reference it, their name, site, everything else, right here on our website. So we are taking one step after another to try to help the smaller creators in the family, help everybody as far as prepare, get in there, get things done. So much love to all of you guys. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Dex, thank you so much for doing, I guess, your duty in the Foogle Fam. I was going to say something smart, but it didn't work.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and God bless everybody.
Now it's officially time for the shoutro. It's not a shout-out. It's not an outro. It's a shoutro. It's where I make a complete fool of myself to a beat and say each and every one of your names, who, of course, chats in the chat room. Do you remember that word? Chat room. It was a very old word that we used to do back in the day on AOL. It was weird and, well, just a little bit nostalgic. We'll be right back. Well, no, we won't. We're going to leave, but on a leave note, most people hang around for absolutely no reason. See you guys tomorrow. Love and peace. Hey, Anthony Ritchie, thank you for coming. No, but seriously, Anthony Ritchie, thank you for coming. Thank you for all the new subscribers. This show is not possible without people like you. Terry Gomez, hated for life. Michael Cook, thank you so much. Says, great job. I stand with the Foogle family. I stand with you, Adam. The Deuce 5, thank you. Colleen Luce Wilson, Prosperous Music. Luce and Wilson, thank you again. Mandy Bronson, Amazing Mountain Life, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the fam. TB Ghost, 3%, Mark Sketch, and Rometown Girl. Thank you, Kelly B. Thank you, Glenda Snyder. Earthworm Jim. What you hanging? Elizabeth Close. Catherine Weddy. Moose Fox 7. Getting on ready. Lord Turner. Hanging out with that cat lit. chick ain't no fool. I think it's the sound settings that might be the problem. Michelle Raven, Sweet REMs, FC Slayer, CCG, Ice Rel Razor, and the rest of the crew, like Stephen Granger. Remember, you can go to MARFOOGLEnews.com for any of this information. Absolutely any of it. Donna's home place, Tennessee. Sweet dreams and love, y'all. Hey. Hey. Hey, thank you, Chilster Deluxe, Sailor Spirit in Crazy Kelly, Texas. Hey, Michelle Raven and Catherine D, Barbara D, and Mr. C. Matt Sutter and the Chilster Deluxe once again with the Wide Awake and Angry. Lisa R. Hall, Russell Spade and the Daily. Joseph, Gematria and Kevin Smith. Callie Too Cool and Bright Smith. Hey, Mr. Shasvina, I mean Mrs. and a Captain Pat. Hey Jojo, I like me for me, Red Cap Goblin and FC. Cello Rope in the CCG with the Cherry Boo 6'4", Born and B. It's all off the top of the dome with the Danger Junior, gotta get in the zone. And old Ryder, Moonshadow and Miss Lee, gotta hang out with Mr. Fable Lee. RGL Harris, so scary. Thank you Dex J for being Harris. Mr. Cabachow. Hello now. It's kind of one of those things you gotta get in the zone for. All about the Maggie Angel coming with a daily dose of gematria and a Susie Kill. Got a Debs with a Z at the end, it will change in a minute. Gonna hit it now and roll. Franco D Ballerino, gonna do some ballerina dose. Hey, sweet Jenna with the rest of the Tom Wolf sitting out in them, getting in the better with the old news and the CJ Blaze. Tristan and going out in the blaze. Miss Lee hanging out with the ways that she can with the bright meadow days. Hey, Melon Frank for focusing. Hey, Rampage, Tex Edwards, hey, Shirley Brown and the rest of the town and the Tony Higgins and now. Hey, mom from the internet with the rest of us going out, we're spending out, doing everything that we can now. Doing what we can, doing all. Arcade, Nick Williams, checking it with now. Element 115 in the Safrella. Under an umbrella, Ella, A with Teresa K. Catherine with Weddle. James Kessler, better. Then everybody really wanna go ghetto. Then we have CJ Blaze.
Just won't say Jennifer and the man and old Johnson hanging out with Calvin in Rockford.
Now we ride. Now we ride. Do it all night. It's Smashing Portrait with Roger Warburton and maybe, just maybe, Wandering Foogle and the rest of the Google crank.
I just wanna say good night to Linda Way. What do you say?
I say goodnight. Boom! MarFoogleNews.com for any of the information you needed here today.
Yo. You should double down, put your money where your mouth is. Your best bet dreams came true. Go ahead. Yeah. Listen to the voices ring inside your head, telling you this about to be your best move.
Rusty Bumper, thank you for coming. Darlene B. and Lady Yolanda.
I've been on this block since all the pops was in the yard, and I never seen you people before. I don't know about you, but I'm about to make a million moves.
Uh-oh. Something's happening. I think it's the little gremlins. It's the gremlins. Uh-oh, some more gremlins. Uh-oh. I don't pick 'em. I just stick 'em. I've got that daily dose. That daily dose of Jumanji. I've got my rib curl and my mom's and my match shutter. And my Zanado CZZ, Jennifer Ackerman and how else they be? Oh yeah. Panhandle Prepper, I appreciate ya. Renaissance Reminisce, Rhonda Heelig, and Darlene B. All I want to see is you. Jojo, I like me for me. Walking down the street, Elizabeth calls. Got to be that Nick Brand. I've got to Nick me. I've got to see the love with that magic angel. And that's Steve G. Lydia Twinner coming back. Show you a grinner. Go right back. And I roll to prison. And the rest of them kicking in. Cricket Lulu. That Mama Tommy. Subatomic. And that Starla Seattle. Got to hit that show. Mango. I'm a badger. Oh, bad Billy Buck. Oh, he just don't give up. Michelle Raven. I see Jack blazing. With them fire emojis. With that sailor spirit. Got the Reaper Snarfall. Oh, it's so awful. Element 115 FPV. Go, and now you see me. Danger Jr. and Tony Higginson. Be my bulldog. Gonna go back down to the Jenna Mario. Got that Tom Wolf somewhere down there. Uh-oh, you know what happened? The other day I went down and I met Jerry Seinfeld. No, I seriously did. Special shout out to April Osborne. Happy birthday. Hey, somebody says, love the show, but why don't Dex drop any lines on the outro? Want to hear him line down some of those smooth lines with you. Dex, did you hear that?
I did. They're not that smooth.
Okay, here's what we're going to do, Dex. I'm going to say Bright Meadow. And you're going to say Sickwid, but like this. Bright Meadow. And now you say Sickwid.
Sickwid.
Okay, one more. Bright Meadow.
Sickwid.
I'm glad you have a day job. I wish I had one. And, mods, I will be over in just a minute. Hey, 1, 2, 3. Coming back with the Sickwid, eh? Gonna bring it right back downtown. Oh, now we gotta ride. Go back now. Go and drop it down the side. Got my James. Give me a biscuit, this going there. Got my Michelle Raven, alrighty. Gonna bring it like I'm an outsider. Crazy Kelly, Texas, and the rest is history with the Dennison and the Dennises. Got my Shirley Brown all over town. Starla Seattle, bring it down. Got my Deborah Mosey reading the gospel, hit it right back. Now we gotta ring it Roscoe. Mr. Capichow, bring it down. Matt Sutter, and you know the 305. East Bootleg, Sherry Bull 65. And the Moon and the Magic Angel 302. Gotta bring it to you. Earthworm Jim, bring it right back now. Warsaw Spin with Alatisha Stolek. Zodiac 214 in the row. Never done 774. Gonna say it's 74. Gonna bring it right back with the dirt camp. Kathleen Weather in the shoes he touched no. Bring it home now. Bring it home now. J Cooper 7, never bringing this. Salvador Sanchez out with the rest. Damn, I miss most of the show. This Lee and the family. With the old writer, got my family. Now it's time to rock like family. Foogle Fam. Saprella, Bad Billy Buck, Jenna Jean. Good night, y'all. Oh, snap. I hope you have a wonderful night. Now, you just go on and get yourself one of them hotels for the night because the Beats just hit a dead battery. Thanks.
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to MarFoogleNews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle Fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle Fam is waiting for you.